Okay, good morning, everyone. Can you all hear me? I just want to make sure, apart from Toby, every other person can also hear me. If you can hear me, just throw it in the group chat to know that you can all hear me. Good. And one more thing, can you all see my screen as well? Yeah, good evening, good morning from here. Okay, perfect. Yeah, good morning, Oskafi. I can see you.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for joining in. Let me just see who else I can see here. Tope Olemu, thanks for joining in. My professor in nursing school, Mrs. Olatunbosi, good morning, ma. I can see you. Richard Oluranti, my cousin in West, thanks for joining in. Abiola Awao, thanks for joining. Aboduri Fumi, thanks for joining in. Diamond Ada, Shola Steel, Alimot Azan, Mrs. Azan, thanks for joining in. YMC, thanks for joining in. Fadekemi, thank you for coming in. Good morning, everyone. My name is Adiola Folorunsho. I'm basically based in Canada, and I'm really excited for the program that we'll be having today. Like we all know, it is based on postpartum blues, beyond postpartum blues. Today, we're going to be having a series of discussion and conversation around this. There's a lot of research around postpartum depression, but it's quite unfortunate that we do have limited research around that in Nigeria. Though there's some research around it, but it's not as voluminous as where we can see in other parts of the world, right? So I'm going to officially start the program. It's the Matermental program, and what we do know that is that when it comes to postpartum depression globally, it's one of the most common and most complicated, complication from childbirth, actually. And then it does affect about 10 to 15% of women postnatally. But the problem is just that a lot of people don't really pay attention to that. It's either at one point in time, we just don't want to accept it, or we just want to ignore it. And so that's why we're coming to have this kind of conversation today, which is very important and is affecting the quality of life of everybody across the world globally. Whether directly or indirectly, you will know somebody at some point that is experiencing whether baby blues, postpartum depression, or psychosis as well. So yeah. So the question is, why are we having Matermental? So Matermental itself, it's not just based on just infant and mortality. It's everything across the spectrum that the WHO wants to address. Anything under the Sustainable Development Goals, the 17 Development Goals, and anything that is within that healthcare section. That's where Matermental tend to address. So it's not just about postpartum depression, but this is one of it, actually. And for this summit today, we want to address so many factors. We want to address what this thing is, what is postpartum depression, what is baby blues, what is psychosis, what are the causes, why are people not being why are people not accepting it? Why are people not being aware? There's a lot of problem around this, and we just want to know. That's why we're here today, to have this kind of conversation. And today, before we start, I'm just going to be introducing some of our speakers in the house, actually. Okay, and I'll just a few minutes. Can you guys see my slide, please?
Yes.
I just need somebody to let me know if you can see my slide still.
Yes, we can see your slide.
Yes, we can.
Am I still audible though?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, can you guys see my slide? Can somebody just drop in the chat just to know that you can see my slide?
We can see your slide.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right. So yeah, this is just the program. You're able to see the, yes, we can see. So perfect. So you're able to see the event and the duration, just to make sure on the same page, like just to make sure that you're seeing what I'm seeing. You're able to see currently I'm just on the event, duration, and responsible. Can Diamond Ada just said, yeah, we can see that. Can you see that the event, duration, and time? Yeah, it's, yes, perfect. So now, like I said, there've been a series of videos that have shared while we're doing this while we're doing the announcement of this program, and then we've seen so many things that do happen. And then I believe some of us have seen this before, but yeah, there are a lot of them actually, but some of these things actually, and you can hear the audio perfectly. I'm sure once we kickstart, I won't be asking all this question anymore, but I just want to make sure people are hearing the video and at the same time seeing my screen. Can you hear the video audiently, please?
I needed somebody to talk to. When I went to my labor, I didn't even touch my child because I was really angry at the child.
Can you hear the audio audiently?
Yes, we can. We can hear.
Yes, perfect. So yeah, these are some of the things that we kind of see happen across Nigeria. It's not just limited to the Western world. This is among the Yorubas, Hausas, Igbos. These are all the things that we see. And if you also realize that just 2 days ago, there was a lady who threw a baby into the river as well. So there's so many things going on, actually. Now, I've told you about the mission and the mission for Matermental. We're just because we want to make sure that people have access to quality and safe evidence based webinars and summits. That's why we're having this Matermental summit as well. And for this summit in tone is just to provide to make sure people have access to those available supports, and also we want to know what is causing this postpartum, whether it's postpartum depression or whether it's baby blues or psychosis as well. And now I'll just go over to
search.
is it back?
It's back.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Hear you, ma.
Okay. Hello? Yeah. What did you say? Oh, okay. They said they are hearing you. Yeah. It's okay. Hello, can you guys still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, you can still hear me. Okay, perfect. Okay. Okay, I'll reshare the again. Yeah. Okay, perfect. I'll reshare my slide again and we can. Can you guys see my slide again?
Yes, we can.
Can you all see my slide again?
Yes,
okay, perfect. Okay.
She then relocated to Canada in 2011 to embark on her Bachelor's of Science in Nursing at the University of Saskatchewan, Canada, where she graduated with distinction in 2015.
Oh, my voice is low.
She obtained her Master's in Health Administration at the University of Regina, Canada in 2020 with distinction and a certificate in
Can you guys hear the
organizational
background?
leadership in 2022
And you can hear my
at the
slide. You can see
University
my
of
slide.
California, Riverside, USA.
Yes, we can.
Adeola is currently pursuing a second master's
Perfect.
in international public health.
Yeah, we can
MPH.
see your slides, but the voice is
Experience. Adeola
quite
has been a
low.
registered nurse, RN, for over 13 years and has worked in various domains of nursing such as clinicals, administration, research, and teaching both in Nigeria and Canada. She is licensed to practice nursing in New York, USA. Adeola is highly competent at program planning and evaluation by utilizing various culturally competent modalities. She is passionate about health policies in addressing global health challenges. Interprofessional development. She obtained a certificate in quality improvement in healthcare.
Yeah, so sorry
from
about the
Harvard School
glitches
of Public
about
Health,
IT.
USA, 2016. In 2020, she obtained the designation Certified Health Executive, CHE, with the Canadian College of Healthcare Leaders. Adeola is a Certified Professional Workshop Facilitator, PWF, and in 2023, she obtained a certificate in public speaking at Rochester Institute of Technology in New York as part of her commitment to lifelong learning. She has won several awards both in Nigeria and Canada. Personal life. She is a wife to Dr. Olo Sebekan-Foloronso and a mother and mentor to many. Adejua Oni is a registered nurse and midwife with over 13 years of nursing experience. She is the founder of two NGO platform, the Stepped Up Nurse and Pregnancy Support Foundation, where she focuses on providing physical, psychological, social and spiritual supports for women from pregnancy to postpartum. Adejua is currently pursuing her master's in international public health in England, and she features in various international online platforms, podcasts, webinars, newspapers, and conferences. Mrs. Oni is a mentor, coach, trainer, and course creator. An author of 2 books, and she has earned several awards. She is a wife, mother, and influencer to many.
Fadikemi is a registered nurse, midwife, BSCN holder, and the founder of Care 2 Moms. She is a seasoned ICU, emergency and labor and delivery and acute care nurse both in Nigeria and in America. Fadikemi is the founder of Care 2 Mom, where she focuses on empowering first-time mothers by providing evidence-based health education and support from conception to postpartum. She is an author, writer in various magazines. She has passion for research and community outreach. Fadikemi has organized and attended various webinars and workshops in creating awareness in maternal-related issues. She is a wife and a mother to 2 beautiful girls. Famiwa is a public health professional and data analyst. She is committed to various health promotion initiatives and public health issues impacting maternal and infant mental health and morbidity through collaboration with Liverpool Women's Hospital and Roy Castle Lung Cancer. Mrs. Famiwa utilizes data to drive effective change in healthcare in improving global health issues. She has strong track record in designing interventions, conducting program evaluations, and driving positive behavioral change. Toby is a wife and mother. Akariel is a registered nurse with over 13 years of experience and a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner board certified in Chicago. She is an experienced writer, communicator, mentor, and mental health coach both in Nigeria and America. Semilore drives change through advocacy, awareness on mental health and wellness issues, and programs. She has attended various conferences and committed to health policy initiatives. Kafiat Popola is a registered nurse with over 15 years of experience and a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner in Texas. She is the founder of Beyond Foundation, helping families through pregnancy and beyond. Mrs. Popola is a coach, motivational speaker, and a health advocate for eight countries. Some of her interests include health education to various vulnerable populations and nutritional school health programs by providing school lunch for over 100 pupils in the slum of Iyara, Warri State, Nigeria. She is happily married with children.
All right. Now, those are our speakers, and so excited to have them here. Now we're going to be going to the program proper and to the questions that a lot of people, would like to hear. Our speakers are well prepared and ready for us. Okay. So the first question is goes to my Hebrew speaker here, Adeswa Oni. Are you ready for us? You can just unmute yourself rather.
Good evening, everyone. I'm ready.
Adeswa, can you hear us?
Hello, I'm ready. I'm here.
Hello, Adeswa, are you there? Hello, Adeswa.
Yes, I can hear you. Adiola, I can hear you clearly.
Yeah. I don't think I can. Can you guys hear Adeswa?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So Adeswa, there's a lot of clarification and there's a lot of confusion actually around baby blues, postpartum depression, psychosis. Are these things the same thing? Like a lot of people are kind of confused. Are they all the same thing or they're just different? Can you just enlighten us what these 3 terms are? Did you guys hear me?
We can hear you, but I don't think.
Am I still audible to everyone?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Okay.
We can hear you.
All right.
Adeswa.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that feedback. Thank you. Okay, so I believe she asked a question about the distinction between postpartum blues and postpartum depression. Yeah, a lot of people get to mix these two up, right? But there are differences. Basically, they both have a root in mood swings. Yes, there's the effect of mood swings in both baby blues and postpartum depression, right? But there are differences. For instance, there are 5 ways I'm going to explain the differences between the two, right? The timing, the duration, the symptoms, the severity, and the treatment, right? In the timing, for baby blues, it occurs within the first few days after delivery. I believe you can hear me. Nurse Popola, can you hear me? Just let me get a nod from you. Okay, right, that's great. Now, in the timing, the first few days of delivery is what happens for postpartum blues. But for postpartum depression, it happens within the first few months after delivery to the first year of delivery. Anywhere in between the first year of delivery, it can fall, but it's most common in the first 3 months of delivery, right? Then the duration for postpartum blues is usually very short, lasting a few days to maximum of 2 weeks, right? It's never more than 2 weeks. But for postpartum depression, the duration is usually much more elongated. It lasts several weeks to several months, right? Before, if it is not treated, right? Now, for the symptoms for baby blues are far less impactful, right? There are mood swings, there are tearfulness, the woman experiences some anxiety, she experiences some irritability and some feeling of overwhelm. But for postpartum depression, it's usually feeling of sadness is more intense. There's a feeling of hopelessness, changes in appetite. Appetite can either go up or come down, right? She either eats more or eats far less. And if she eats far less, she loses weight, right? If she eats more, she gains more weight in this period, right? And then there is reduction in activities of daily living, right? She just lost interest in the normal things that she's always excited to do. That's a postpartum depression. And there is the possibility of harming herself or the child. That's the major factor that makes postpartum depression far more impactful, right? Far more like a condition, a mental health condition. Now, in the severity now for postpartum blues, right? It's not always that bad, right? And it does not impair the woman's ability to function. It doesn't impair her ability to function. But for postpartum depression, it significantly impairs her ability to care for herself and to care for that baby, right? Now, for the treatment, for postpartum blues, no treatment is usually required. The woman finds a way to recover one way or the other within that 2 weeks of delivery, right? Now, for treatment for postpartum depression is usually more, the treatment needs therapy, as in the woman needs therapy. She cannot just be left alone. And then there has to be changes in her lifestyle. There has to be some modification. Support has to come in from health professionals and from her loved ones for that woman to come back, right? I believe Adiola is speaking now. I cannot hear you.
Hello, Adiswa.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, basically, you're saying that as from postpartum depression and then it's postpartum psychosis, the severity it's more compared to move from the blues to depression and to psychosis and even to death. That's what I'm understanding. I just want to echo what you're saying so that the people on the can understand that there are differences between the postpartum blues. It usually starts from the blues, then goes to the depression and to psychosis, and unfortunately sometimes to suicide, to death. Thank you so much, Adeswa. But I just want to ask you some questions that are, what are the things that people should look out for, whether it be there's a postpartum blues or depression or psychosis?
Okay, now there are ways by which you can recognize postpartum depression, right? Now, recognizing postpartum depression is tantamount to bringing about intervention to this woman. You cannot intervene if you cannot recognize, right? You need to be able to know that there is a problem. you need to be able to know that something is wrong, right? So I'm going to make I'm going to make a list of a few of them, right? One of the things you are going to notice is loss of interest and pleasure, right? A newly delivered mother should be excited about her baby, and she wants to breastfeed, she wants to do something, she's excited. That excitement is gone, right? It's much more reduced. And then there's this persistent feeling of sadness, like her mood, she just feels empty. A newly delivered mother is supposed to feel excited, like, I just had a baby. But she feels sad, she feels hopeless, like everything is down. In fact, if you come into the room where this kind of woman is, if you stay with her for 30 minutes, you might be able to pick it that this woman is just feeling sad despite just having a baby, right? And there's usually sleep disturbances, right? The sleep disturbances here now can be on two extremes. The mother can experience insomnia, that's on one side, that's lack of sleep completely. And then she can also experience excessive sleep, right? So there is disturbances that are disturbances in her sleep, right? Then there's this feeling of worthlessness, there's fatigue, lack of energy. She's not excited about caring for her baby. Then there are also physical symptoms like headache and stomach aches. She just complains, she holds her head, and you're like, what's wrong with your head? Are you supposed, you don't have malaria now, so what are we talking about? There's that headache. Then there's the consistent thoughts of harming herself or harming a baby. It keeps coming to her from time to time. So those are ways by which you can recognize postpartum depression. I cannot hear you again, Adiola. Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much for those for enlightening us on that, what we needed to look out for. Now, my question goes to you, Fadeke. Childbirth requires a lot of preparation, especially in various aspects. What are the advantages of financial and psychological preparedness in curbing postpartum depression? We know that we need to be prepared for childbearing. So what are those things that we needed to be prepared about?
Thank you, Adiola. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for everyone joining. Thank you. I stand on the existing protocols. Okay. I tell people that pregnancy is not a day journey. Pregnancy is everybody on earth, even goats, even ram, when they get pregnant, they give birth that day. So, and which we as human beings more defined. Everybody that gets pregnant gives birth at least 40 weeks. Okay, even if it is premature in Nigeria, I know that 28 weeks, at most 40 weeks, you're gonna give birth. So I used to tell people that God gave you good 40 weeks to plan and prepare for your baby. And so whatever you want to do, whatever is going to become of you in the next 40 weeks, in the next 9 months, you can start preparing it even from the first day that you get pregnant, or from the day you were told in the hospital, congratulations, you're pregnant. So congratulations, you're pregnant means that you need to start planning for that baby. You and your husband need to tell your husband, we're having a baby. And so what are the things that you need to prepare for? Number one, in the first trimester, we all know that pregnancy is divided into 3 trimesters. People have said it is now 4 trimester, because what happens after the baby is classified as a trimester. So in the first trimester, most people are quite strong, except you're having the morning sickness. And the morning sickness takes maybe like 12 weeks for it to just... So even if you're not strong in the first trimester, in the second trimester, start buying the things that you need for your baby. Start buying for the things that you need to when you're strong enough, the things you need to buy for your baby. Start planning them, start buying them. You need to visit the hospital, the type of hospital you're going to give birth in. You should know the hospital procedures, because these are some of the things that pose psychological thoughts. Those are the things that brings worries to mothers and new parents. You think about the hospital bills, you think about what your baby is gonna eat, but all these things, you can plan it within that 40 weeks of delivery, within that 40 weeks of pregnancy. Now, psychologically, how do you prepare in you? You should not just do as if nothing is happening. I tell people that your body listens to you. You should be able to talk to your body. And well, I use myself as an example. I talk to my body like this is what I want. I was telling somebody a few weeks ago. I said I made it a point of view that I had to talk to this baby. I had to talk to this baby, oh, you are not going to be a cry baby. You will not make noise near me because these are the things I wanted. And so if you can say some things that you wanted, you can start saying it in pregnancy. You can start saying what you want from your pregnancy. And another thing that causes psychological problems is for fathers, you start thinking about yourself that what will I do? What will I do? You should start thinking your life should not be a pause. Your life should not come to a pause because you are pregnant. Before you got pregnant, you have plans for your life, because those are the also bring kind of depression, because you say that I can't even do anything for myself. I don't have anything. I don't have plans for my life. You have plans for your life. In pregnancy, you should start planning what is going to happen to you after pregnancy, after the delivery. What is going to happen to you? What are your things that you are going to do?
Thank you so much for that. I mean, that's very robust response there. I also have a question for you, actually, that we know that Africa and even across the world, culture is a way of life for us. So what are the impacts of culture and religion on postpartum depression? Do you think culture do affect the level of severity that people experience postpartum depression?
All right, thank you so much again. I want some communication there. If you are a Yoruba person, just say that, hey, just type in the comment section that, hey, I want to hear, oh yes. What people feel yourself, you will find, hey. Okay, so the truth is that Nigerians, we have a very beautiful culture, and it's as if there's already a standby culture for new baby when a woman delivers. In fact, the mother of the baby or the mother of the new baby, that's mother of the that means the grandma. She's already taking that thing as this is my government work. So we have a culture of omugo. Omugo is originally an Igbo tradition that it means after birth care. But both Yoruba, both Igbo, both Hausa, we call it omugo. So that means that there's a culture of taking care of the new mother after delivery. So culturally, it's expected that your in-laws, whether you invite them or whether you do not invite them, they are going to come to your house. And so when they come to your house, it is your discussion with your husband. Hello, please, who will come and take care of my baby? I know that Yorubas, it is the mother-in-law that comes to take care of your baby. The Igbo tradition, it is the mother of the wife, yes, the mother of the bride that comes to take care of their baby. In the Hausa culture, they are free people. Anybody can come and take. But now, in a situation where the new mother is not in good terms with the mother-in-law, I'm talking about the Yoruba tradition. Now, in the situation where the new mother is not in terms with the mother-in-law, what happens? How will you relate? How will you be able to go with your mother-in-law? So now, as a new mother, you should start relating with your mother-in-law from pregnancy. Start having a conversation with her. However, you and your husband, you should have a discussion. Who is coming to take care of my baby? Is it my mother or my mother-in-law? So that you people can be in good shape. You can be in good whatever. And another thing is that during this postpartum period, during the first 40 days, that's the christening. The baby. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes. I can play.
Okay, somebody.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. When those first 40 weeks, those are the period when you have a lot of visitors. So when these visitors come, how do you relate with them? How do you prepare for them? So it is in your interest, or it's for you to prevent that depression. Like me, I don't like all these people that come. For me, I'm not so used to a lot of people coming around me at the first few days. And so when people came, I was like, what's this one? Now these people go to their house now. But guess what? This is what you're gonna see. And so it's for you to open up your mind and say that these people, when they come, this is what I'm going to expect. Now, religiously, I just tell people that you should have something you are believing in. You should have a God that you believe in. I'm staying in the western part of the world, and that is what I will say, that this is what is killing them in this part of the world. They don't believe in anything. They don't. You tell me, talk to people. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in mosque. I don't believe in anything. Tell me, how will your life be better if you don't believe in anything? Muslim, you know do. Christian, you know do. Oh yeah, oh, if it is traditional, I don't know. But these kind of things help you. The religious, they help you in curbing some things. Like in the in Christianity, you have the word of God, you have the Bible. So the things that you don't want, you can start saying it, that this thing I don't want, and you pray to your God that I don't want this thing. However, both the religious and the cultural, they are extremists, they're extreme things that we do. The extreme things that we do, especially for the cultural things. When your mother-in-law will take charge and say that I want to be the one that will be, the baby will be sleeping in my room. Okay, what will your baby, how will mother-in-law say that I want the baby to be sleeping in my own room? Or the mother-in-law said that I brought her go. These are good. We used to watch the baby's head. If you don't want to, tell your husband, and you people should have a discussion. Let your husband be the one facing the mother-in-law. Tell your husband be the one facing the in-law. Because if you are the one facing the in-law, they will tell you as the new wife that you don't do this, you don't do that. So
thank you so much. I so much appreciate that. Yeah, like, so basically you're making us to understand that both the culture and the religion can mean a lot to we Africans, and it takes a lot of preparation towards that, just to make sure that all parties are on the same page and everybody's happy, inclusive of the new baby and the new mom. Thank you so much. I hope everybody can still hear me and we can still hear the speaker very well, because somebody said they can't hear. Is it clear? Can you all? Okay, somebody's just saying they can't hear. Okay, just to make sure. Now over to I love this next question, and it means a lot to most of us here. It's called the experience. Toby, family, I'll be calling you for this. You had an experience. Can you share your experience on postpartum depression? How was it that for you? In fact, beyond the experience, Toby, family, did a research. Our postgraduate research on postpartum depression, just because of our experience. Do you want to share some things about this with us? Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. And thank you for the opportunity, Adiola. It's been a long time preparing for this, and we're really excited that we are here today. Yes, just as Adiola has mentioned, please nod if you can hear me. Anybody? Yes, you can hear me. Okay. So yes, this topic, postpartum depression, is really dear to my heart. I'm really passionate about the topic. Sometimes when I think about it, it brings tears to my eyes. Why? Because I had, a first-hand experience. And the depressing part of it is I didn't even know that I was going through postpartum depression. Like, I didn't know that is what it's called. So I had my first baby, 7 years ago. And when I had my first baby, I happened to be like the last, child of my family. I have just one sibling. I don't have so much experience, having to take care of people with babies and all of that. And then my husband, on the other hand, is the only child of his parents. So you can imagine. So I'm just trying to put a background to what Nurse Fadekemi has, laid a foundation on. I'm from Nigeria, the Yoruba culture. So you can imagine, the only child of a mother, there's so much excitement on the side of my family. I don't have, my parents are no longer here with me. So I felt somewhat, detached. I didn't have that, very close connection that I would have wanted to have, like have my own mother, with me. I didn't mind. My mother-in-law is amazing. My husband's family, they were great with me and all of that. But here it was. I had my baby first 6 weeks. I wasn't lactating. I couldn't breastfeed my babies. I was frustrated. I was angry at myself because I had read so many books. I had planned so many things. I want to give my baby, the first 6 months, what's it called now? Exclusive breastfeeding. I didn't want to give my baby food. I didn't want to do any of that. I had my first baby. I had so much plans and everything. And here I am. I have my baby and I cannot breastfeed my baby. I was upset with myself. I was angry, even very angry, because I had my baby in what's it called now? The government hospital. Those of us back in Nigeria. I'm in the UK now. Those of us back in Nigeria, at the general hospital, Ifakojayi General Hospital. That's where I had my baby. I had no support. My husband couldn't come in with me. It was just me and very wicked and mean nurses that said so many terrible things to me. I was going through so much pain, and you just already brought my baby to me and said, start breastfeeding. And then I'm seeing other mothers in the ward already, lactating and bringing and in breastfeeding, putting their babies to breast. And here I was, I couldn't do it. Exactly everything I didn't want to happen was happening. My baby had to start taking, baby food and everything. I went back home. My mother-in-law was, the way the African mothers, she meant well for me, but I couldn't express, just like what Nurse Fadekemi said, you need to be very careful how you, speak to your in-laws, so you are not the bad wife. So I only could talk to my husband, and my husband couldn't even understand as well, because we were both first-time parents, and he didn't want to offend his mom as well, and he felt, oh, babe, they are doing this for you, it's for your own good. But hey, there was too much pressure on me. From a lawyer. And I was, so angry, so irritated. My husband's aunties, everybody was on me. I would want to cry. I couldn't cry. I was just very irritated. All I wanted was, after the naming, everybody, please go to your house. Do you understand? But everybody did not go to their house. It's their first grandchild. Do you understand? And I didn't know. It's so bad that I'm so upset that I had to know that, oh, this is postpartum depression years after. There was a time my husband came back from work, and from the gate, he could hear my baby crying seriously. And he came into the house, running into the house like, what's wrong with the baby? And I was just there looking at the baby like, Tobafe sukun, cry, you're not going to die. As in, I got to that point, I couldn't sleep well at night, because the baby was always hungry. And here I was determined that I did not want to give my baby food. And I didn't even have anybody that was telling me that, see, my dear sister, you're not the only one going through this wahala. You're not the only one that was not able to, breastfeed your baby. My baby sucked on me and I had wound. I was always crying. I was always angry. I couldn't even put my emotions into, words. I had overwhelming emotions, just like stepped up nurse said. The symptoms were there. Overwhelming emotions. I was sleep deprived. I was fatigued. I was tired. I felt isolated. Why? My mom is not here. I didn't have any personal family of mine, just my in-laws. So I was always upset. I was always angry. And then I had difficulty bonding with my baby. Everything, it wasn't just what I wanted. And here is the baby I've waited for 9 months, and I'm so angry and irritated. Like, you are making me go through pain. The annoying part is, you breastfeed the baby, you have a wound on your nipple that is, bringing out blood, and my mother-in-law will be telling me, as in, it was crazy. I didn't like it. I didn't like it, and I didn't know how to tell my husband. But my husband could see. In fact, that's the part of where they will have to mora. I don't know if you are Yorubas here, where they have to use the hot water to make, very extreme hot water, and I will be screaming and crying. Everything. I was like, so is it a crime to be a mother?
No,
I hated. This was something I was waiting for, and then the time had come, and I was so upset. Like, I wish I didn't have this baby. Do you understand? I wish I didn't have this baby. And then I found support. How did I find support? On social media. That brings me to my a second question. I had to write, because when I came to the UK to do my postgraduate, and then we were asked to pick a topic. That was the only topic that could come to my mind. It was just like an opportunity for me to tell my story.
Good.
And to find other women that were going through the same thing as I went through. And the reoccurring themes, difficulty bonding. anxiety. I was anxious. I can't breastfeed my baby. My baby will not be smart. My baby will not be okay. My baby will not grow up well. My baby will not, I was, oh, my baby. And I felt like a terrible mother. But I thank God, just like Nos Fadikemi said, we are Africans. We come from a culture where we have, religion. We have something we believe in. And that was exactly what I had to hold on to at some point, because truly this girl was going nuts. Wow. And I didn't know what was going to happen next. Do you understand?
That's what you had to go through. But
yeah, that was what I had to go through. So yes, I had to write my research about that. And I was able to find out that I wasn't the only one going through, stuff like this. And that was how the whole world of postpartum and maternal health, opened up to me, and that's why I'm so passionate about it and trying to help other mothers.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's not a function. Unfortunately, our culture and our religion, we cannot take it away from who we are as Africans, and because culture is a way of life, and we just have to find the balance around it. My next question goes to Nos Kafi, Kafayat Popola. Honestly, it takes two people to make babies. Do you agree about that? That two people have to make babies, right? But however, but why is it that men are neglected when it comes to matters around postpartum depression? Despite we know that two people have to make these babies. What is the problem?
Well, thank you so much for having me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
All right. So apparently the journey into parenthood is a shared experience between two individuals, right? It's a collaborative effort. Because when you experience people that have support, like Fadi said, like Toby said, like at that point the husband couldn't help her. He could see something was going wrong, right? But he couldn't, like there's no way he could help at that point. He doesn't even know how to help. And even if the husband was, now the man is feeling lost, he's feeling frustrated, he could as well be going through his own emotional issues, and he will not be able to say it out, right? So it's the neglect of men on matter related to postpartum depression is very complex and is rooted in several factors, right? We have to take it back to lack of awareness and recognition, because we don't even recognize postpartum depression in women. So how do we now tell you that a man is going through it, right? Because we don't expect it's something that is normal. It's not natural. Like, you just had a baby. You're expected to be happy. It's a gift, right? Don't you understand? Some people are looking for babies, right? So right now, even when, like she said, like I prepared for this thing for 9 months, and now you're here. I had so much planned for you, and I can't even feel it. I can't connect with you. I can't bond with you, right? So people can't comprehend it, and that's because the awareness is not there. The recognition is not there. So right, and this is something that affects men too, and despite the fact that we are even in developed world, the recognition is still not there for them, right? That, okay, this is something that's happening, right? And yes, societal and cultural expectation. Men are expected to be strong, supportive, you are breadwinners, you can have emotions, you can show that something is going wrong with you. Then you realize that men, and unfortunately, symptoms in men differ from women. Now you realize that your sweet, loving husband, all of a sudden, is becoming more angry and frustrated. I'm like, I thought we had this baby together. We had this plan together. He wanted the baby, but right now I just couldn't comprehend it, right? So he start engaging in risky behavior. Someone that doesn't drink, like what happened to brother something? How did he lose his spirituality? How did he lose it? Because that is what he's finding solace in at that point. Who are you to judge, right? Because you don't even know what he doesn't even understand. He's so frustrated. He's either overworking or underworking, and that's when, like, he's always at work. He doesn't even want to come home because he doesn't want to come into that bubble, right? He doesn't want to feel, he just wants that connection work can give to him. Like, I'm working, I'm doing all this for you so that I can provide for you, right? I understand, but he's trying to not face it, right? He's acting distant. He doesn't even want to touch the baby. And we must be sincere with ourselves. There's lack of screening and diagnosis, even for women. So at least when we go for postnatal clinics, they still ask you, so do you feel depressed and all of that good stuff. I don't think it's something that's being practiced in Africa right now. But when I had my baby in the United States and when I went for my postpartum appointment, I was asked about my mental health. I was given the questionnaire to fill, even though you're not saying the truth, there's a screening going on, right? But for men, who is screening them? Who is asking you, how are you really feeling? Are you transitioning from being a boy to a man to a father? Right? Exactly. So exactly, because it's a big thing. It's a big thing. Some people, I love sleeping, I tell people. But see, it's ingrained in us that we are mothers, right? So even at that time when you are lacking sleep, you can still function. Men cannot function because they have to go to work. Who do you explain to? Like, oh, I couldn't sleep last night because of the baby. Like, wait, what happened to your wife? So exactly. So there's a lot. So there's a lot of pressure on them, and that's something we should actually bring back to the table. We deserve a seat at the table.
Thank you so much, Noskafi. That's a very important point that you just raised, because we always attribute this problem women. But a lot of research findings have shown it used to be 1 in 10 men will have postpartum depression. But now the number is so the gap is so close now that it's now 1 in 4. So it is not a woman thing. It's everybody's business. The men, the men, the way they experience it is just different. But if they show the expression, just like Kathy said, they are being called sissy. You know, you're not allowed as a man to kind of express your emotion. If you do that, you're being shown as weak. But what we are here today is that you are allowed, you're permitted to show your emotions and your expression, because that is what journey to healing. Now, there is a follow-up question for you. What are the misconceptions and stereotypes that is attributed to postpartum depression? Like you said, that men could be affected and they could even be vulnerable. But do you see them to be more receptive that they are even affected in the first place?
Well, unfortunately, society is not even making them accept the fact that something like that can even happen to them, right? There's this, COVID syndromes. They have COVID syndromes even in pregnancy. There are men that realize that their tummy start growing with their wives when their wife is pregnant, right? But people don't even attribute that. So they cannot acknowledge it, because the first thing, it is a conception that it's a woman issue. So you cannot even bring it up. As much as you said, research is not saying it's 1 in 4 men that even experiencing postpartum depression, they cannot even come out to acknowledge their symptoms and seek help, right? So it's not helping them. The misconception that it's only a woman issue is not helping at all. And like Adesuwa said, the number 2 is just baby blues. It's not just baby blues, right? Because baby blues is mild mood swings and resolve within a few weeks, right? But postpartum depression is that. I had perinatal depression with my baby. Like, I was depressed throughout, right? And everyone was like, this belly they shake you. I was thinking, people, I was going into the darkness. Can't you see? Like, it got to a point. The spot where I lie down on my bed, there's a dink there because I'm always on that spot. The only thing that keeps me going at that point was the fact that, like Toby said, sometimes the spirituality and the culture, like, I cannot abandon my other children and I have to stand up to pray because I cannot ignore my solar, right? Exactly. I was thinking, people, it's not baby blues. And you have the baby and like, I love you. I sincerely do, but I can't just let it be now. So it's not just baby blues. It's more than baby blues, right? And people will say, oh, find something. When you're sad, go and lick honey or something. People will just see, they just give you things like, you don't have coping skill, you don't have face. It's not. It's so seriously, it's I don't know how to explain. I've been through this thing, and sometimes you can't even explain to people how it's, because you just like, how did I navigate into that point? It got to a point I had to cry one day to my sister, like, I'm sinking, I'm dying. Do you understand? So what if you don't have anybody to cry to, like Toby? There was nobody to talk to, right? Exactly. So no, it's not weakness. It's not because you lack coping skill. It's not because you don't have faith in God. It's real, regardless of your strength or your resilience at that point, right? So it's not hormonal imbalance alone. I understand that hormonal changes when you're pregnant, that's okay. But depression is a complex interplay of your biological, psychological, and social factor. Because that's something we need to understand. It is not hormonal imbalance at all. And it does not just occur immediately after birth. Like I said, I had perinatal depression. Like, I had it throughout and even beyond, right? So it is not just at
Pregnancy
the
and beyond.
I've been like, and that was what gave back to my thing, like pregnancy and beyond, because definitely you need that support. It's just had to be there, right? And some people like, all the symptoms are the same. It
No.
varies in individual. Like seriously, some people you just realize that extrovert became an introvert all of a sudden. Like, she don't change, you. You don't know what she's trying to mask. That man, like I said, that just started gambling all of a sudden, started keeping bad friends, started staying more at work, not coming home, not calling. We'd experience it in different ways. But it's just that the sadness and hopelessness is there for everybody, right? Irritability, anger, you just feel numb sometimes, you can't feel it. Right, so they're not the same, and as much as we are shouting about it now, it is so important we break this misconception and stereotype and encourage everybody, regardless of your sex, age. Please seek help. Call out for people. See, sometimes you just need to cry, rant if you have to. Get people they can be sounding boards for you. Like, see, I just want to talk. I just want to cry to you. I just want to rant to you, and that's it. Sometimes it helps, and please seek help. Medication doesn't mean you have to be on it forever. Once you are able to get that interplay to work together, you're good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
A really salient point that you raised, because like you rightly said, society does not give us opportunity
No.
to vote these things, and sometimes you just have to play to it. Leave the men in the house. The men in the house. If you realize that my last 2 days news were more specific to men. It is not just the women. Please seek for support. It doesn't make you weak. At this point, it is important for the balance and the dynamics of the family that we should accept that when it comes, let us seek for support. So thank you so much, Noskafi, because even in the last video that just came out about the lady who threw a baby into the water, just 2 days ago in Badagry, what I noticed in that video was even the men coming to help out to rescue the baby. So the men has a whole lot of roles to play. We cannot neglect you guys. So at the same time, you should also be receptive that anybody could be vulnerable. That is the message across. Now, my question goes to Shemilore. Shemilore is she's a nurse practitioner, which she focused on mental health actually in Chicago. Now, Shemilore, my question to you is mental health contributes to effective and quality of life of humans. What are the mental health implications for stigmatization around postpartum depression? There's a lot of fear, but how does this affect us?
All right, Adiola, thank you for giving me this privilege to be on this platform. Hopefully, I can I'll try as much as possible not to go beyond the time that was given to me. Okay, so we need to understand that just like every other illnesses, there is a stigmatization regarding whatever illness you want to say. But when you talk about mental health, it's a huge problem that a lot of people do not want to be identified with. And then based on our culture, our background, it's something that is more like, just the people that have epilepsy. It's something that you don't want people don't want to be identified with you. It's a huge problem. So with mental health, it's the same thing. It's huge. And most time when this mental illness is translated into our local language, it's become more huge. It become a big problem. People don't like to be profiled. People don't like with any illnesses at all. Because when you tell people that they have hypertension, it's a whole lot of issue. They come to social media to ask you, what can I do to manage my problem? I don't want to take medication. So now imagine with something that is there in the brain and people cannot see it. People cannot understand it. The only people that can understand what is going on is the individual experiencing all these symptoms. So that is what is happening. Those are the problem with stigmatization. People cannot come out and express themselves and tell you what they're going through. And then when they say to people that they think will understand, they have zero knowledge of all those things. So they direct them to somewhere else. Say, they might tell you, because you just had a baby. Maybe when you spend some time to sleep, or maybe sleep for so hours, you might feel better. Or they might tell you that, my mom did this. No, people like to put their experience into the equation. They put themselves. They forget that your symptoms are not the same with what they experience. They might have baby blues. Baby blues resolve on its own without any intervention. and that is your hormonal problem. But when it comes to depression, it takes more than just other people's experiences. It needs to be well identified. So but unfortunately, you already know that. You know what you're going through. You know it's abnormal. A lot of people understand. They know what they are going through. They know it's abnormal, but they do not have the confidence to go out there and tell people what they are going through because of the stigmatization. That's the problem we have with stigmatization. It deprives people from experiencing themselves and seeking help. Thereby, their problem degenerates and it becomes complicated. So it becomes an adverse problem. So what people going through depression becomes chronic depressed because they could not come out to express themselves. People, when people hearing like the psychosis is just about other things that come into play aside the depressive symptoms. They hear voices, they see things that nobody else sees. They hear things that nobody else hears. So how do you want me to come to you and tell you that I'm here, somebody talking, calling my name? They're not going to they'll tell you, I'm sorry, I'm Yoruba. And that word alone, treat people off because they don't want to be identified with weary. That word is like when it comes to our culture, translating those things into our cultural language makes it more difficult, makes it hard for people to accept their reality. So that's the problem with stigmatization. A lot of people come, and then when you're expressing your problem to people, they insert themselves into the situation. They tell them their own experiences. We might be different from yours. And you begin to see like maybe you're overdoing things. Maybe I'm just the one imagining, maybe just my imagination. Instead of you being directed to the right place, to the right source, to seek help, they give you their own experiences instead. And you start to see yourself as what they call it, like you're overdoing things. Maybe I'm just overdoing things. Maybe I'm not even hearing voices. And that's in doing that, you complicate the issues. Just like hypertension, you don't take medication, you're diagnosed, you complicate the problem. And hypertension, I think, is a silent killer. You will not know until maybe you have a cardiac arrest. That's when it becomes a complicated problem. The same thing with mental health. So when you don't seek help because of this, that's the implication. It prevents people from seeking help. And because of that, it becomes chronic. It becomes, degenerated, and then it becomes a big issue.
Well, thank you so much, Temilore Akerele. I know this topic is beyond this summit. It's a huge thing, and it won't end here, right? And like you rightly said, there are greater names around postpartum depression. I remember when I first reached one of the speakers, she made me to understand that, Abisiwi. I was like, what is that? So there's even a name for postpartum depression.
Yes, there is.
So if you're being called Abisiwi, then that alone would not even make you speak out, And like you rightly said, nobody wants to be identified with. And funny enough, like you rightly said, that it's a silent killer. Another name for postpartum depression is the silent disease. So it's silent. That's another name for it, according to research. You can Google it, you actually find that. So these are the things that can take us easily, are very subtle and very silent. And so the magnitude of what they do in our body is so huge but they kind of appear as if they are very cool, a very wonderful thing, but no, they are not. So yeah, so beyond the stigma, let us find the courage to come out and say, do I want to be stuck in the stigma or do I want to get my support? So where do you fall? It's left to you. That's a question I'm posing to the participants and to everybody. Now, my next question goes to Toby. Again, public health professionals, they contribute significant roles in addressing postpartum depression, from local to international level. Can you tell us some of the roles that, our public health professionals need to do just to make sure that they can address postpartum depression?
Okay, thank you again. So firstly, I would like to address the fact that a lot of people do not feel that postpartum depression is actually a public health problem. They do not see it as a public health issue. And I am here as a public health professional to let us know that it is a public health. In fact, it's a state of emergency, issue as we speak, because it doesn't just affect the mother like we have, every speaker here has, come up to say. It doesn't just affect the mother. It affects the mother, affects the father, affects families, affects the child. For instance, we could say from the video that we watched, the woman is obviously not okay. She's sick. she's tired, she's hopeless, she feels hopeless. And she did not just harm herself this time around, she harmed the child. We've seen videos that has been posted, weeks before this summit today of, women killing themselves and killing their babies. Can we hear me? Someone says she can't hear me. Can everyone hear me?
You loud and clear.
Okay. So it's a public health issue. It is because you are not just affecting, it's not just the mother it affects the father, it affects the baby, it affects, it affects the family, it affects both even the economy, it affects the economy, it's an impact, it affects the child's development. Do you understand? So now what is the role of public health professionals? It's exactly what we are doing here today. Awareness. We are here to talk about it. Let people know that it is real. Postpartum depression, it is not baby blues. And the fact that in Africa we have come to this this position where we undermine the effects of people's emotions, we need to stop it. If somebody is not feeling good with herself, if she's not happy, let her express. I think there was a video that Adiola posted some weeks ago where some people were saying that they were telling the mother not to cry on the baby. It's bad luck. It's all of that. They let these people express. Do you understand? Let them say how they feel. So now I'm coming to the role of public health professionals. What is our role? Why are we important? Why are we actually really important in the whole of this discussion? Is to promotion of awareness and education. We need to educate people about it. Just like Nurse Kafi said, it's okay. It's okay for everybody to just assume that postpartum depression is only related to the woman. But now we are here today getting educated to let them know that, hey, it's not just affecting the man now. It's not just affecting the woman now. It affects the men as well. A man that was, loving, caring, brother and sister in quotes, you understand? And all of a sudden he has become a drunkard. He has become, an addict. He has become, because that is the only way he feels he can cope, with what he's going through. And he has been taught to man up, so he cannot speak up. So now we are coming here today. That is why we are having this summit, to let everybody know that, hello, postpartum depression doesn't just affect the mother here. It affects the men as well. So that is one of the roles, very important roles of, public health professionals, especially in low and middle income countries. By that I mean like places in Africa, because I am aware that in the developed world like this, like Nurse Kafi said, she had a baby in the US, and when she went for her postpartum checkup, she was asked to fill some questionnaires. Hello, everyone that gave birth in Nigeria, did you fill any questionnaire? I don't think anybody has filled any questionnaire.
People will be aware today. People will be aware
today. So you can so that is why we are here. And also integrated healthcare systems. What do I mean by that? Public health professionals will collaborate. We collaborate with healthcare institutions to make sure that mental health screening and support becomes a routine in postpartum care. Now, I've had my baby and I go for my 6 weeks, antenatal checkup or postpartum checkup. It's not just to ask me if my womb has returned to position, or just to check on the baby. Now you are asking the mother, how are you? You, the mother, how are you feeling? How has this first 6 weeks been? Being interested in the mother's well-being. From my, research that I've done with a lot of new mothers. Someone is saying I'm not audible. Can we hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly here. Can other people hear her? I can hear you clearly.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, clearly. Thank you. So, it's not just about I come for postpartum checkup, especially if coming down to Africa, low and middle income countries, not just to check on the mother, ask her, how are you? How are you feeling? And not undermining their feelings. So that is where we come in as public health professionals. We are trying to, help the healthcare systems, trying to make them understand that this should be something that should be added to their routines. You understand? And also coming up with supportive community programs, support programs that provide a safe space for new mothers to share their experiences.
That's right. Yeah.
You see, one of the things that helped me go through my time was I found this support group on social media. And that was what my program was, my thesis was about, how I was able to cope with postpartum depression using social media. I found so many information on social media. And now social media has its its pros and its cons, because it's garbage in, garbage out. But it is just what some people experience. What happens to A is not what will happen to B, is not what will happen to C. But hello, I was able to find support. Why? Because I found people of like minds, people who were going through the same thing as I was. So if we have a support program like that has healthcare professionals, the likes of Stepped Up Nurse, the likes of Shemilore and Kathy, who have had experience, more than 50 years experience in mental health, you understand, in the hospitals, in those support groups, that I am not just coming to the support group, but I have professionals that know how to help me go through my problem. So that is why we are coming in as public health professionals. And also, we advocate for policy changes. That is why we are here. We are here to make sure that, oh, this is a problem. It's an intervention.
Yeah.
We are here to, talk to the governors, the MPs, the presidents, so to speak. I remember one of the days we were having our rehearsals, as in myself and the speakers, were, already thinking about ways where we could become, walk into policy, be in the Ministry of Health, so that we can influence this policy, so that we can make people see that, hello, this is real and it should be taken, really seriously, especially in low and middle income countries. And even here, we should make it something part of the policy. I was mentioning something. It's not just when the mother has had her baby, then they give her maternity leave. What happens to the father? The father needs paternity leave also.
Well,
so if
that's
we
right.
they need paternity leave also. Yes, it's something you see. I can see somebody laughing like, paternity leave. How will we eat? He should be paid for that paternity leave. He's at home because this woman needs a support system as well. So when, as public health professionals, we can bring those policies, we can advocate for it, we can put our voices behind these things. And of course, research and data collection, we cannot overemphasize. Without research, without enough data collection, we can't even know that there's a problem, talk less of how to handle it and how to tackle it.
It's very obvious to the participant and all other listeners that public health professionals play a huge role, even starting from the research, use of the data to inform practices, programs, and even we also need culturally sensitive programs as well. Programs that will address the uniqueness of individual or unique culture. What works in the city of Anambra might not work in the city of
exactly.
We need things like that at this point. So, but I'm glad to say that we'll be hearing something today, and I'm sure the people that really need this information will be happy going home today, actually. But we're not in that phase yet. My next question goes to Shemilore, actually. Shemilore, being a mental health nurse, one of the things every society wants is give me medication. In fact, on August 4th of this year, FDA released medication for the first of its kind in the States, or they approved of that medication that can be used for postpartum depression. But the problem is, when I was going through that research paper, I found out that those medications can even affect the baby. So you solve one problem and then you create another problem.
One.
So what is the role? What are those non-pharmacological approach to handling postpartum depression or psychosis?
Okay, thank you for the question. So one of the things I would like to mention or to talk about is the possible causes of this problem. Actually, we do not have a single cause for postpartum depression or psychosis, but we can identify some other thing that is called a risk factor. That's called risk factors that could pose a risk to postpartum depression. So number one, we do talk about the fact that having a family discord, maybe you and your husband have issues, during the time you were pregnant or before pregnancy, unresolved family discord pose a risk to postpartum depression. We talk about, stressful life events, like marital conflict, you're immigrating to another country where there is little or no support for you during pregnancy or after pregnancy. Even during the pandemic, it was really stressful for a lot of people, and a lot of people came down with depression. For us in this part of this world, like because of the season, the winter time poses a risk of depression even to an ordinary person, not talk of a pregnant woman. So, and then people experiencing anxiety every now and then could come down with postpartum depression. people with a lot of other risk factors like that. And also, I want you to understand that the postpartum depression could be as a result of genetic factor. So if you have, and because in Africa, a lot of people are undiagnosed. We don't know what, because I was reading somebody's story on Facebook the other day. She was talking about she hated her mom for the longest time. And now, as an adult, she's over 40, and then she needed, I don't know what happened, she was called, and she took her mom to the hospital. And she was told that her mom had some mental illness when they were little, and it was so hard for her to care for the children. So to her, she felt her mom neglected them, not knowing that she was dealing with her own battle. You understand? And that was not diagnosed until when this lady she's over 40, she's maybe late 40s now. And now she felt bad for eating her mom for all those time because she was never diagnosed. They just felt she was being neglected. She was being neglectful. So because in where we came from, a lot of people are undiagnosed. So it's very hard for us to make to come up with, guidelines on how to manage, individual with postpartum depression. In as much as for me, when I'm seeing a patient, I'm prescribing medication anyways. But in some cases, I do require, or I let them realize that, do you want to go through, we can do this thing, pari passu. You see a therapist, they help you analyze some of these things you're going through. They help you analyze some of your risk factors before we come to medication part of it. That is depression. And then we need to understand that for both depression and psychosis, the safety of the mother, the child, and the people around them is very, very important. So it's not just about the mom, because the child is at risk of infanticide. The mom can just wake up one day and kill the child. So for people hearing voices, that's the psychosis. The individual might hear voice telling her to go and hurt someone. It's not it's not something that they really want to do, but it's just the state of their health at that point in time. So in most cases, for me, I'll look out for, we usually, during the point of assessment, we are able to detect what the cause is. It's as good as somebody having depression, but the only thing is it's happening after they must have had their baby within the postpartum period, I think 6 to 12 months. So that's the difference between an individual going through depression and someone with postpartum depression. And I need to understand that people might be depressed during the course of the pregnancy. And people might be depressed prior to pregnancy, and then the pregnancy amplifies their symptoms. So those are some of the things that we look out for, and that determines how this individual will be managed. For people that have been experiencing depression prior to the time of the pregnancy, we understand that it's been there, but the pregnancy amplifies their problem. So it's like, something, it's just like you have hypertension prior to pregnancy, and during pregnancy you develop preeclampsia or eclampsia, and maybe after pregnancy you develop eclampsia. So the management is just the eclampsia that we are managing, because we already know that this is your baseline data, you have high blood pressure. So also is depression. So depression, we're managing the whole family, and we have the family to understand that these are the things happening. We need support from every member of the family. We are more concerned about the safety of the individual experiencing all those things, going through this emotional turmoil that they don't really understand themselves. And then I want us to understand that as individuals, you don't just, we have to look out for ourselves. That's why this support groups is very, very important. People do not really understand what they're going through. A lot of people do not understand what they're going through. But there are some key points that could direct an individual, that could let you know or tell them where to go, the kind of help that you think they need. We are not saying you should diagnose everybody with depression. We are just saying that because in managing any illness, we try to prevent, the problem from escalating. So we are not telling you to diagnose anyone that tells you, oh, I feel sad with depression. Being sad does not mean you're depressed. But just for you to understand that some of the things that could, some of the symptoms that an individual might be experiencing that will require them to see a specialist, or you can tell them to see a therapist. When someone is telling you that they feel worthless, they feel helpless, they feel hopeless, they lose interest in things that they love to do, they don't want to take care of their infant. They don't want to even see the child. That's the problem. Those are the things you look out for. And you can tell them maybe you want to see a therapist. And the therapist will help you. We might think, oh, it's just for them to talk. It's not just talk therapy. So they are equipped with so many things that could help you out of your situation. Like they tell you if you have a family difficulty, they can refer you to a family therapist. And one of the things that we should do, I think there are some I believe there are some healthcare workers on this platform as well. Just like people have actually identified that in developed world, we are not just focused on your tummy or the baby or they are lactating, even though those are as important as your mental health. We are also more, interested in your mental health. So even sometimes people are not able to talk about it. When I'm seeing people from Africa, it's hard because I know it's very hard for me to come out and tell them what they're going through. Or like when I'm seeing people from other places, other races. For Africans, it's hard for you to tell them what their diagnosis is. It's hard to tell them what their management would look like because of the problem that we don't love to be profiled with illnesses. So in places, so you have these things pasted everywhere. You could walk in the bathroom in the hospital. You will see like, are you feeling sad? Do you think so? No, like you see all those questions, those self-assessed questions will tell you, will give you an insight to what the problem is. So people are being assessed. Even when you go to see a urologist, your mental health is important as well. They ask you those questions. So that is depression. You go through talk therapy. But at a point, you need to understand, the therapist will let you understand that even though they've seen some, improvement, you might need some medication to help with your situation. That is not a death sentence. That is not, it's not like, oh, I don't want, nothing is wrong with me. It's not a death sentence. It's not bad. It's just letting you that my therapy is working. But I think you need something more to boost whatever the effect of the therapy. And then that's come to medication. But in psychosis, postpartum psychosis, the mother poses a very big risk to herself, the child, and the people around her.
And even to the community.
The community. So in that case, we talk about safety. That's the first thing. So we separate the mother from the child. So my family might be asked to take the child home to take care of the child while the mother is left in the hospital for them to receive maximum care, because you can't treat psychosis from home, especially when they are going through that, that phase, at the initial phase. So in that instance, the mother doesn't even know what she's going through. She might still be having this, there might be like a moment of, reality where you go, where's my child? They might be focused on that child. But we need to understand that when they're in the hospital, they're not just there for medication treatment. They go through therapy as well. They go through that different coping skill. And then as they mentioned, like culturally, you need to believe in one thing. For me, there's something we call like support system. It's very, very important in mental health. I ask clients all the time, do you have friends that you hang out with? Because when they tell you they're having suicidal thoughts, it's easier for you to have that thought when you're alone, when you don't have anything you're doing. But when you have friends, that you don't even have to be like, close pals that you share everything about yourself with, but people that you once in a while you talk to, you hang out with, you can go out and maybe go to to restaurants, you eat once in a while, and then maybe you have a support group out there, people where you can share your problem, like a little bit of you are not looking for answers from them, just want to unburden.
But there's a lot to in this thing actually. Having said that, I believe the message across now is that before the medication, there is need for people to voice out, to seek for support, and even use coping skills and coping mechanisms that they can use out there, and then and that's where the healing starts from. But I want to quickly move to a section whereby now we're talking about this whole thing. This is the cause. This is why we're having this culture. That what are the supports out there? We have in our midst today. I'm so excited to usher. She is a representative from the Postpartum Support Network Africa. Her name is Mrs. Azan. She is a clinical psychologist and she's representing the Postpartum Support Network Africa here. I'm just going to briefly say, I'm going to welcome her. Are you ready for us, Mrs. Azan?
I'm ready, ma.
Much. The floor is yours. We want to know what you've heard of everything. There's a lot of problem. This conversation is beyond this platform, right? We want to know what you do. We want to know what are the supports out there for us. At what cost are these supports? The floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Adiola. I really appreciate this platform and everyone that has spoken. I've learned a lot from you. Thank you so much. Like she said, I'm representing Postpartum Support Network Africa, which we call PSN Africa. The organization has been in existence since 2015, and we've been trying to reach out to a lot of people, especially mothers. We understand that women go through all of these things, especially as our founder, Dr. Onyedikachi, has a close relative of his that went through this. The person actually felt postpartum psychosis, and this was the beginning of the birth of PSN Africa. So this led to the founding of PSN Africa, and we've been in existence since 2015, like I said. So who are we? At PSN Africa, we are a team of mental health specialists. We have in our team psychiatrists, clinical psychologists, and a team of mental health specialists, generally mental health counselors. So, and we have been going from hospitals to create like an outreach on prenatal mental health. We're not just going to limit our awareness on postpartum depression, because we understand that some of these things happen even during pregnancy. That's why we extend our awareness on prenatal mental health. We train healthcare professionals on prenatal mental health, and also we provide a virtual and physical therapy sessions for our moms. We screen mothers. I am happy one of the speakers talked about women's not being screened. I can tell you that we've been going to hospitals in Lagos and even in Ogun State and some other states, because it's an NGO, so there's fund is kind of limiting what we could do at this time, but we've been doing a lot, I can tell you that. So we've been going to hospitals, we screen mothers for traces of any prenatal mental health challenges, even while they are still pregnant. And we have these mothers sign up with us, then we get them assigned to trained and licensed clinical psychologists. So we have clinical psychologists in Nigeria, in Canada, like all scattered all over the world, and they've been helping with virtual therapy to help support these moms that are going through postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, and even postpartum psychosis. And this we've been doing consistently. And also you might want to get training as a health care worker. So we do training also, we do conferences, and the most important thing is that we understand that this thing is on a continuum, is not a one-off thing. So there's a support group for the mothers. Even after you've been through our 8-session CBT program, you have a warrior mom group where our mothers are moved to the warrior moms group. So it's like a peer-to-peer support group, so that you can encourage other moms. And sometimes, you know, we human beings, we tend to forget information. Sometimes some things you've learned, you might forget them. So this support group, we call the warrior mom support group. Okay, so the term warrior mom might sound a bit extreme, but the thing is, you are a warrior to have been through that phase of pregnancy, delivery, with your mental health challenges and all of that, the hormonal imbalances. You are a warrior. So we believe that no woman should suffer in silence, because if you see something, say something. It's one of our programs. If you're feeling different, if you're feeling awkward as a woman, we expect you to say it. So how do you reach us at Postpartum Support Network? We have our Instagram handle where a lot of people DM us. Once they DM us, we get a lot of DM. We get them assigned as quick as possible. So you can send us a DM on our Instagram, Postpartum Support Network Africa, PSN Africa. You can follow us, you can share. Please, and I also don't want us to neglect this, because sometimes you might think you don't need it, but somebody close to you needs this information. So as I'm speaking now, if you're able to check your Instagram, you can just follow us, and maybe at a later time, go through our page. You see varieties of things there. You can refer us to a family, a colleague at work that you think is going through any form of perinatal mental health challenges. So now, if I'm talking about perinatal mental health challenges, I'm talking from pregnancy. Don't just limit it to birth of the child. I'm talking from pregnancy to even 2 years after the birth of a child. We believe that no woman should suffer bringing a life to this world. So why should your mental health suffer? So we want you to help us spread this good news. We've been doing this work, and the beautiful thing is that it's all free. Free. You don't have to pay a dime. This is something I also joined 2021 because I felt a form of postpartum depression. I can't remember which of the speakers spoke about. I think it was Mrs. Toby that spoke about her not being able to breastfeed her baby. It was just like you were saying my story. So it happened to me. So I just felt like, if as a trained clinical psychologist, I could drift into depression, so anyone could drift into postpartum depression. And that was what basically made me join postpartum depression. And like the story I said earlier, our founder is a male, so his close relative went into postpartum psychosis. So it felt like this is something that we don't really talk about. And even when we do, we just sweep it under the carpet. That was why he started this platform, and it has been so helpful. A lot of my team members are on this call, and I'm so excited to have them here because these people are volunteers, and because of the passion we have for it, we've been doing it consistently. A lot of people come to us, we've been able to help them, and I'm very sure that we can help with any perinatal mental health challenge that comes our way. We have a team of specialists, and I'm so proud of them and what they do.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you,
really proud
ma'am.
of you guys. I reached out to the president last week, and then I was just so amazed. And you guys, thank you to your team. Thank you to Dr. Erike. Was supposed to be here today, but for all for circumstances. So please take advantage. That's the essence of Matermental here. We're not just going to be talking and talking and talking. What is the way out? Solution. These people brought the solution today, right? Please follow them, reach out to them. You might not need it directly, but there's somebody, a loved one, a family member that might go through, that might need this. Share the information, just follow them. And the beauty of it is free. Wow. This is amazing.
Right? So free. You could even be one of our volunteers. I see a lot of passionate women up here, so you could be our volunteers. We have a trained psychiatrist. She's based in the United Kingdom. Our founder is based in the US. So we have a lot of trained personnel all over the world. So it's not limited to Africa. Don't be tempted to feel Postpartum Support Network Africa is limited. We are global. We can support you anywhere. We go out. If you have any hospital here in Nigeria you want us to go out to, we've been going out to hospitals to enlighten mothers, even from pregnancy till even the health workers, the nurses. I heard that one of the speakers was talking about how rude some nurses were to her when she gave birth. So some of these things, they don't know that this person is going through mental health challenge, and then it's like they're rubbing salt into their wound already. So we train them because we know that they are not aware, so they are able to deliver a quality service, a quality mental health service to their clients aside the normal midwife job they're going to be doing. Sorry, please, can anyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You're clear.
Okay, all right. Okay, so it seems
Go
Adiola is
on.
hanging now.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so like I said, we are welcoming anybody that wants to volunteer for us. So there are a wide range of things you could volunteer in. You could be a social media person. We have people that volunteer to reach out to moms in clinics. We have people that volunteer on our Warrior Moms group. Warrior is actually Dr. IJ support group. She's of blessed memory now. So she started the Telegram group where we have our mothers moved to that group so that they can, share experiences even after they've gone through our 8-session CBTs, they've gone through our support program, and they refer other moms to us. So you could be a volunteer. I see a lot of people here. Are you trying to say something to me, Ma? Miss Adela? Okay. Sorry, I can't hear you at this time. Okay, I think we're having
Can you guys hear me?
Okay, yes.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Thank
so
you.
I'm so excited for this thing because not only are they providing all this support from pre-pregnancy to post-pregnancy, but at the same time, there's opportunity for people to be trained as well, especially the healthcare providers on this team, so that we cannot wait on the government. Who are the government? We are the government. We're going to start from here, right here, to start helping the people, to start helping everybody in the society. So if you want to get trained, please reach out to this support system. I've shared their PDF on can you guys hear me still? Somebody said they can't hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, good. So I've shared the PDF information, but please reach out to this organization. They are not only in Africa, but they are also international. So if you do a certification with them, you are internationally recognized for that. So it's not about the certification, but also about wanting to help people as well, to help with this problem that is ongoing in the society. Now we're going to be going to the question and answer section. I believe I have asked so many questions from my speakers, and even Mrs. Azan has also spoken, and we can see that we're not just here to talk, but we're also here to provide solution as well. So I believe we are going on with something, and you're sharing that information with somebody. But I know we could have said so much, and still we have not even answered all the questions. We want to hear from you. What are the questions you have? The speakers are here to dissect some of these questions, and they're here to help you.
Adela, I think there are some questions in the chat room. Someone was asking if men could, join the PSN Africa. So maybe Mrs. Azan could answer.
Yeah, Mrs. Azan, come in there. You are the off cake now.
You are muted, Mrs. Azan.
Yeah, you're mute.
Thank you. Like I said earlier, everybody is welcome. We have does the person want to join as a volunteer, or does the person need support?
Yeah, volunteer.
Okay, yes. If you want to join as a volunteer, please, we welcome everybody. We understand that this thing affects our loved ones, and we just want people that are passionate about the topic. So you're welcome, please. Yemisi has helped me to share the flyer there. You can reach out to us. You can send a DM to us. Our social media person will just respond to you immediately.
Okay. Perfect.
Yes.
And then not just the PSN Africa too. There are also people on this platform too that they're also doing some amazing thing. What's it called now? Nostomike. I'll also share the information on this platform shortly with us. Nostomike does a monthly pregnancy support lectures as well. she does that. You as Tomike Arowo Shegbe is her name. I'm going to share information shortly with us. Mothers or fathers, it's okay for you to join.
Good
She does
evening.
a
Good
monthly
evening,
event.
everyone. Please,
Good
can you
evening.
hear
Who is
me?
on the line? Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Who is that, please? Hello, you want to ask a question?
All right.
Okay. Are you wanting to ask a question? Okay. So, like I was saying, so we have Nostomike Aro Shegbe, which I'm going to share the information as well. She also provides free webinars, free classes, monthly classes as well. So we can, like I said, we cannot just wait on the government as well to do everything for us. We need to start from the little support and the help that we have in-house to start seeing the change that we want to see. And another person, I'm also like going to be sharing that information. So like I said, we're not, we meant business. We're not here to just talk and talk and talk. Another thing here is there's a nurse Fadekemi Odewade. Fadekemi Odewade has been doing pregnancy support from Nigeria. She lives in North Carolina, and she's been doing this from Nigeria, and you are able to reach out to her as well for our services as well. So we don't want to wait till we go into the dark moments where people cannot, where it becomes so sad that it becomes we throwing babies into the waters or even dying or suicide. We don't want us to get to that phase. So I'm going to be sharing those two other extra supports. And then even Noskafi too. Noskafi also does. So there are a lot of people in this house. Our speakers are here. Like I said, they were strategically chosen to speak at this summit. I'm not seeing any other person with question that we need to address, because this is the time. Questions, please. I know there are support system in place now. The PSN Africa is doing that. Nostomike is doing that. She's doing a webinar for us. Nosfadekemi, in fact, she has a book that she just released as well. I'm going to be sharing that shortly as well. Apart from the online services that she renders. But there are questions. I'm really curious. I want to hear people. Men in the house. I'm just after you guys. Honestly, I'm after you guys. The men in the house. I need to hear you guys. Do you think this thing affects you guys, or let's hear you speak. I know it's the ladies first, but this time around, no protocols on that one. Anybody's allowed to talk this time. Questions, please.
I think they're also free to share their experiences with us.
Yeah. And I believe there are also there are a lot of experienced nurse rather on this team as well. I can see my professor, she's here, Mrs. Olatubosun. She's here. She taught me nursing school back in Nigeria. So, Ma, you're free to step in right now to give us a wealth of information as well. And then there is even one of my good friends. He's a medical doctor, Richard Oluroti. He's also here as well. And he wants to volunteer. So Richard Oluroti is a medical doctor in England. So it's everybody's business. We're not. It's not just just baby blues. It's not just the blues. It goes beyond that, especially if it's killing the people. So yeah, feel free to jump in.
I would like to make a contribution.
Okay.
Can I go
Yeah.
on?
Please carry on. Yes.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Adiola. Good evening, Sadeswa. Good evening, everyone on this platform. I'm so glad that this event is happening. And immediately I saw the flyer, yes, finally we are getting a group of amazing people that are doing this, because just one of the speakers said during the webinar, this is a public health issue, right? And a lot needs to be done about it, because majority of our women, even our men, are affected with postpartum issues, both during delivery, both after delivery. So my name is Opeyemi, and I'm the founder of Eluki Natal Care. Right, so I just want to share an experience, and I appreciate everyone for being here today. I appreciate all the speakers for doing this, for bringing this to light. So the experience I want to share is on my platform, one of a platform that support women, pregnant women, on what they need to know about pregnancy and what they need to do for them to have a seamless pregnancy and delivery. So the experience I want to share is a woman came to me that's pregnant and her husband is not accepting the pregnancy, right? That I should advise her on what to do. So I told her to pray about it. I told her to inform her parents, they are married. She should inform her parents, to inform her husband's parents, and they can talk about it, right? So a few months later, I think about 3 months or 4 months, she came to my DM again saying she needs my help. Probably if I could talk to her husband is not responding. Her husband wants her to remove the pregnancy and all those things. Well, so what I'm trying to point out is these kind of women, they need help too, right? Because they are going through a lot of stress. They are going through a lot of trauma. They could start having depression even before delivery. They could start having depression in pregnancy, and it could even aggravate after delivery, the delivery stress. And after delivery she could be thinking, what if her husband doesn't accept the baby? What is she going to do? How is she going to cope? How is she going to move about it? And so it's important that these kind of women, when they are us or when they're around us or when they came to meet us as health professionals, we should be able to give some kind of advice to them and talk to them so that they don't go down. Don't go down at the end of the day. So, anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you. So that they don't go down. So what I did was talking to her. I had the voice call with her. I had to encourage her. I told her, I don't know. I don't. It's not something I can meet with her husband because obviously I doesn't know me, so I can't just speak to him. Would he even listen to me? I just told her about support system. Maybe she could speak to a friend of hers, her parents, the husband parents, those are the support system around her that could actually talk to her husband, that could actually reason with her, that could actually speak to the husband on the reason why they need the baby instead of terminating the baby. So what I'm saying in essence is that puerperal blues, be the psychosis, be depression, it could start as early as pregnancy. So we as health workers, we need to identify this when women come to us or when they enter this complaint to us. And we need to see it ahead that, this woman, she is at risk of having depression when she delivers, or she might even be having depression even during pregnancy. So it's important that we find these things so that we can create a sustainable and a lasting solution to it. Right. So that's just my contribution. Thank you so much.
Well, that's so fantastic. We cannot throw away the importance of support system, actually. Very, very important. There will be somebody. I understand that the social media these days, there's a lot of unlicensed doctors. Everybody's like a lot of people, you see series of things, but be careful about the information you take from social media too as well. Like somebody said, it has the plus and minus to it. But overall, you have to find somebody like I said, the government, people keep saying the government, we can only start from what we have. And we hope that some of these things that we found from this conversation today, we can present it to the people that matter, the policymakers. We want people to know that antenatal care is more than we go there to dance. It's great, but it's more than that. It's opportunity for people to start to be screened. I'm sorry, guys. So any other question, please? I believe, it's even if it's your experience, we're here to rub minds. This thing is real. It's happening.
Sorry, can I just add something to this? I won't take too much of our time. So my own contribution at this time is the fact that I know we have health workers here, we have nurses that are in the gynecology or whatever that thing is called department where they do this prenatal or antenatal care, right? And then I want us to understand that a lot of people are not really ready for that stage of pregnancy, but it happens and they can't do anything about it. So they just accept it, they can. So I want individually, I know some of us don't really have we don't have what it takes to make decisions in our department. The boss will not even listen. But what I want us to do as an individual, you can draft out some of these questions. You can go online, search out. I think one before the nurses, before the pregnant women see the doctors, the nurses do some assessment. They check their blood pressure. They ask them if they are taking their medication. I don't know if that's still the practice. But at that point in time, you can ask some of these questions, just assessing the mental health of this, soon to be mothers before they eventually goes to see the doctor. You can pass the information across to the doctor. Just make sure that you create some form of privacy, in that area while asking these questions. Some of them will not even know until you ask. They won't recognize some of this that they're going through until these questions are asked. You can just ask them, how are you feeling? Do you think you're happy with this pregnancy? Are you being forced to carry this pregnancy? Were you prepared to carry this pregnancy? Then you can go ahead and ask other questions about, depressive symptoms, all those other things. Because a lot of people just go there, they dance, and they go back home, they go back into their, So I just want to, as an individual, we can make a change whenever we find ourselves. We can ask these questions. I'm a mental health nurse, but I assess patients with their, I assess physical problem as well. If I ask them about sleep, even though it's part of my assessment, I can detect that maybe you're experiencing sleep apnea, and I can refer you to the appropriate, quarters for help. So in our different departments, we can make a change. We can ask these questions and pass it on. I'm very sure if you tell the gynecologist that this woman is good, I know they will refer the person to maybe like I said, Nigeria, we don't like it. So that's why it's good to have everything in the same space. You see the gynecologist, they recognize that you have some mental health issues. They tell you to go to the next room and see the therapist, or go to the next room and see the psychiatrist. That way you're able to find whatever help you need. But by the time you're telling them, make an appointment with the psychiatrist, that will never get done. It will never happen. So that's one
just
of the
because
setbacks.
they don't want to be seen or identified to start with.
They don't even know. They don't even know they have an issue now. So now you've already identified some problems, and you're telling them you might need to see a therapist. You might need to see once you tell people go and see a therapist, the problem. Go and see a psychologist. So it's a big issue. But letting them finding help in the same environment, just maybe, madam, with what I just asked you, do you mind seeing a therapist? Just in the same environment, the same place. You when you see your nurse, you see the gynecologist, you see the therapist, or you see the psychiatrist. I know we don't have that resources at this time, but as an individual, you can bring that. Only if you guys have unit meeting every monthly meeting, you can bring that up to your superior and see if there's gonna make any change.
Well, thank you so much, Shemilore. I believe other people will have to talk because we dedicated some time for this section, actually. Questions, please. This is a safe spot. This is a safe place, right? And then, I feel so much excited. You don't even have to be in the face right now, but you could ask question on behalf of a friend, okay? You know how we do, who want to be a millionaire, like you call somebody, on behalf of a friend. Ask questions, actually, because I know internet is there. They will say Google is your friend, but experts are in the house. Let's take advantage of this moment.
Hello.
Hello. Please. Yeah, a male voice for the first time. Yay, that's a bingo. Yay. Carry on.
All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, I just want to be sure that I'm being heard.
Yeah.
Let me first appreciate my friends, Deola, for putting this together. And I also appreciate every speaker that I've spoken today. Adeswaoli, I'm an ardent follower of your page on Facebook. All right, so I appreciate everyone who has spoken today, and I've really learned. Adeola, when you actually mentioned my name, I was driving, so I couldn't speak then. So I've just found a place to just park and then try to put in a little voice of mine. So I've really learned a lot today, and I've decided to speak because men really need to be very involved in what we're talking about. I'm passionate about how to get men involved as well. And that was why I asked the question if the membership of the PSN is open to men. I'm so passionate about getting men involved in this business. Because when men understand what is going on and they're able to play their role, when the men are less depressed, then they are able to support the women better. But when the man himself is more depressed, so where does the support for the woman come from? So I have some concerns and probably some questions. What exactly is the role of the media? And when I'm talking of media here now, I'm not limiting it to Facebook, Telegram, TikTok, Instagram. I'm talking of the media. Let's talk about the TV, the newspapers, as well as the radio. Why am I asking this question? We do know that postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis, they all have triggers. We are all psychiatric patients by who we are. And it's just that the stage at which everybody gets tilted to either side of the spectrum differs. So, what is the role? How do we get, because I think that one of the triggers for postpartum psychosis, depression, is lack of support.
Yeah.
From the people around you. And it's not even limited to lack of support alone. It's now going beyond lack of support to pressure. So people are supposed to support you, and now they won't giving you pressure even in the postpartum period. Now you have sisters or in-laws who have come around to support you after you've just delivered. Now, they say they are come to support, but these are the people who are demanding they want to eat pounded yam in the morning. They want you to go to the market and buy beef, buy all sorts of things to cook for them because they have come to their son's house who have just had first child. So these are form of pressures that is pushing, that can easily tilt the woman into depression. Now, we have spoken a lot about women being educated, being given adequate information during the prenatal or the antenatal period. So I think we are talking about incorporating this kind of information into the antenatal period, which is a preventive measure and is it's a very much welcome development. However, these people that are involved in tilting, that can play a role in tilting people into depression, most of them are not present in that antenatal meetings. And even when they are present, they do not believe what is being said there pertains to them. So I believe one of the things that we can do to really educate the public about postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis, and the triggers is, how do we get on the TV? How do we get, you will be surprised that you ask somebody is having a master's degree, has never heard about postpartum psychosis before.
That's right. Yeah. Very correct. Yeah.
So, how do we get the common woman, the common man on the street to understand postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis? How do we get them to understand? And I think the TV, the radio will be a very good media to educate people that these conditions do exist. And if you find a woman exhibiting such behavior, either in pregnancy or just after pregnancy, doesn't mean that they have become wicked. Doesn't mean that they don't want the in-law to come to their house. Doesn't mean that they don't have the friends to visit them after they have delivered. They need people, the public need to be educated that there is something called postpartum psychosis and depression. And these are natural events that can occur when people deliver. And it doesn't mean just delivered mother have just changed in her behavior, or because it doesn't want to welcome visitors. So how do we educate the public, the mothers, the in-laws, the people on the street? Okay, one of my first experience as a very junior doctor was, I was just called that a woman who delivered a few days ago started behaving irrationally, abusing everybody on the ward, throwing everything around, hitting everything she could hit. Other people on the ward thought probably, African people. They don't want her to have babies, so the village people have attacked. Well, I knew this was simply postpartum psychosis. You give medication, the woman is relaxed. So, how do we educate the common man on the street? We have talked so much about supporting the woman who is undergoing this problem, but how do we educate the people outside there so that, one, they are not the triggers for depression and psychosis, and they do not stigmatize people who are going through these problems?
Yeah, thank you so much.
I think these are just the 2 points I want to raise at this point. Thank you very much for allowing me to speak.
Yeah, thank you so much, my good friend, Doctor. There's a lot of awareness, and we have to keep doing awareness. But apparently, it's obvious to us that the awareness is not enough. So postpartum depression or psychosis, or even the baby blues itself, has no respect for anyone. Even if you have a PhD or anything, no respect for any social class. It affects everyone. And so we need to keep doing that program planning. This is the time. That's why I said this conversation is beyond Matermental, but we want to start the conversation. We want to start the conversation. We want to carry it forward. And I believe from today, people can start to see the impact of this, that when a woman is behaving irrationally, so to say, she's not being, we don't want to be part of the people using the word otiyawiri. Right? We understand, now we are informed, and we are part of those change agents to that, actually. We're coming towards the end of this program. Actually, it was scheduled for
Adiola, if I could add a point or two to what you just said.
Okay.
Actually, I was trying to talk to the doctor while he was talking, trying to say what exactly is the place of media. Now, I want to believe that, we are trying to talk about people in, people who can, the common man, everyday man, the man who doesn't know that. How do we bring it, to the lame man to understand what postpartum is all about, right? And I believe storytelling, there is nothing like storytelling. The power of storytelling is really very strong. And I believe that if we can, find a way to make sure that this storytelling are told in the layman English that everyone will understand, in Hausa, in Yoruba, in Pidgin. And then if we have it, said in hospital while we are waiting to sing Abila Yololuawi, those videos are, playing at the background in different languages to reach out to the common man, to reach out to the uneducated, to reach out to, sometimes the mother-in-laws, the sister-in-laws, on radios. Storytelling. Nigerians, Africans, we like stories a lot. We are moved by stories. We are moved by storytelling, and that is another aspect I really enjoy when it comes to public health and information media. Giving education to people. If it's brought down to even a 7-year-old to be able to understand in Yoruba, in English, in Pidgin, in Hausa, all those kind of things. That information is dispensed amongst everyone. It's not everyone that has the access to data, but some of them have radios. Some of these Hausa people, they have radios that they listen to that we call the Aboki radio and all of that, Aboki DJ. So if we have those kind of things, put into different aspects of media, the radio, the TV and all of that, everyone, I believe, will be reached, because some people get information somehow these days. So if it can be broken down to the everyday language, everyone should be able to be reached.
Yeah, I think Toby, that's a very fantastic point.
Something to add.
Yeah, we're actually coming towards the end of the program, but I will take one more question, and then Adeswa, hold on, I'll call you soon. There is a poll that that I threw on the chat. I just want you guys to just respond. It's very anonymous. I don't even know who is answering. Please just put it there. It's for our own feedback, actually. Somebody said jungles on national radio and TVs are very helpful in getting the message out there. That's right. Yeah, media could be great, and at the same time could even throw out this stigma as well. But we want to concentrate more on the positive aspect of media. Adeswa, over to you.
Okay, yeah, this person has said part of what I wanted to say. Yes, jingles can be used because a lot of people watch television every day. Some people sit at their TV 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. every night. They don't miss some programs. So in the midst of Super Story, in the midst of these programs that people cannot but watch, they can infuse just 1 minute of storytelling, something that's packaged to let you know that men go through these things, women go through these things. Mother-in-laws should stop putting pressure on their daughter-in-laws. They should stop asking for pounded yam and asking for crazy things when a woman is newly delivered. Like, they should give the support they should actually give. Then health professionals too should do their best to make use of the media. So some people are always on WhatsApp. Do you understand? They would subscribe 50 MB, 100 MB just to use WhatsApp alone. So if you're a health professional, I usually tell people in my books, in my packages, in my programs, I usually tell health professionals, if you are a health professional, you should not be on social media and be liking and be commenting nonsense comments. You should be able to add to the lives of people by just one statement you have said. Let people be able to see in your comments that this person is a health professional. So if you see somebody say something that does not turn them well, you should infuse something. Everyone is always on WhatsApp. You can write, all these long write-ups that we forward, that people forward. These long write-ups that looks like stories. That some people will just sit down and read it. We can write, if Fadekemi writes her own, Folorunsho writes her own, I write my own, Nawal writes her own, everybody writes her own. You are in mental health. And you know that women go through these things a lot. You write this, the way the stories keep being forwarded, people forward WhatsApp messages a lot. Within 2 days, one single message can recycle back to your WhatsApp. Something you've seen yesterday or you've seen last week can come back to you because it's kept on going round and round and round. I think it can really go a long way to help. Then there are newspapers that collect content. You just pay maybe 5,000 or 10,000. They'll collect content from you as a health professional. Put your name, put your whatever, and put your story there. So if you have a story to share about your mental health, these things, people read these things every day. Some people read newspaper every blessed, especially men. Those men we are trying to reach. They read newspapers every day. So I think it will help them.
Thank you so much, Adeswa. That's a very fantastic point. Like I said, my project is I'm running after men on this one. On this matter, we need the men voice, especially seeing the video that happened 2 days ago. It was the men helping out. And so it tells me something that the men play huge significant roles in handling anything around mental health and the stability of the family. Likewise, the women too, but it is not a woman discussion, just for women alone. I know, like I said, this summit, it's beyond, this topic is beyond this summit. But like I said, we just cannot afford not to talk about it. We have started, and then I believe people are beginning to connect with the PSN African. People are showing interest now. I'm really glad, and that's the spirit. Most of our speakers here already have a platform, and they are doing the same thing. Watch out for. And I know, Toby, I know you're coming up. That's the challenge I'm giving you. She's going to be a medical storyteller. Watch out for a platform too. She might be coming up very soon, and all that. So just to let you know, some people were not here when we started. So Matermental is going to be a quarterly thing. Meaning like so the next one. Actually, the United Nations ambassador, she was supposed to be here today, but for all forensic circumstances too, she was supposed to join this program, and it's intentional. I'm bringing in policy makers. So we're not just here to talk. People that will carry everything, carry it and go and present it to people that will be making the changes. So the next one, she has agreed that she's going to be here for the next Matermental event. I mean, the ambassador of United Nations, in person of Mrs. Ogulano, Dr. Ogulano rather. She's going to be here next event. So there is, you know, a pull on the chat. Please, I want 2 pulls on the chat. Like I said, put in your, just click whichever one it's you feel, you know, this summit has addressed today, and then it's very helpful for our own, you know, for my own feedback. Actually, I want to believe that at this point there is no question anymore from anybody, and I understand it's very late in Nigeria at
No,
this
it's
point.
just a brief contribution. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone, and most especially one of us, Alimot, for that wonderful presentation. Yeah. When it comes to the aspect of men, we've had the opportunity of speaking to some men in the hospital, and you will be shocked at that expression when they heard about postpartum depression and how it affects men themselves, and they were really thrilled and very interested, and they started reaching out to us. I'm one of the executives of PSN Africa, and I can categorically tell you that a lot of men do not know about this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And a particular man that said to me that, oh, and sometimes when she's acting cranky, I just thought maybe she just wants a little bit of pampering, or she's just acting up. That was what this man said to us. Like, maybe I felt she's usually acting up, and my mom gave birth to like 5 girls, 2 boys, and I'm sure my dad didn't go through all this. So why is she acting up, or why is she always acting? And that particularly, he told us that, oh, as from today, I never knew and nobody told me about it. I see it online. I don't really care about what it is. But as from today, I'll start reading about it. And whenever my wife asks for help and I cannot assist her, I'll reach out to you people. So it's just like that. Some people don't know, and we need to continue to put our voices out there for people to know. It's just about men alone. I mean, women alone. These men are going through a lot. They are not aware. They don't know anything. And we need to continue to educate them. And we've had the opportunity to even train some men at the hospital whenever they come with their wife to this antenatal program. So I think we continue to do that, and that will really go a very long way. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well done for. I'm still amazed about what you and your team do, and I'm going to reach out to the president today. Well done to your team. Very well done. You know, and then like she said, men in the house, follow your wife to the antenatal clinic, even if it means I just don't know where I'm stuck to. Dance with them. It's part of the healing, you know. Be part of the be inclusive, you know, and you'll be able to see it, so that everybody walk through this journey together. It's not one person's you know, matter. It's everybody's journey, you know, so that we could have a healthy community and society as a whole. I think at this point, in the absence of any question, I think we'll be bringing this program. It was scheduled for 145 minutes, which is 2 hours. You know, I think there's a comment. There's no is there a question? Yeah, so Iwe said awareness has to go very grassroots. That's very true. A lot of people in the rural areas have no access to media and equipped hospital. But actually, there's something I found out too when I was doing some of my research. You know, there is an app. I'm going to follow up on that, and I'm going to share that with the group. There is an app to also help out with postpartum depression right in your house, without even going to, before you get to that stage. Some people are actually working on that app right now, because a lot of people are using their phones a lot. So they are finding a way to target, you know, catch them young. Enough of postpartum depression, enough of things that are preventable that is affecting the quality of life of our people. I think at this point, we will. I want to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your passion. And also, to my speakers, Twale, that's the word I can use. Thank you so much. We've been planning for, over 2 months now. Thank you so much. Yeah. Please remember to please click on the poll question. It is very important for me. Please and please and please let me know where you fall. Let me know how Matermental has helped you today. Your response is very anonymous. So just put it right there. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful week.